Hello, fellow comic book ones. This is Naman. Welcome to my channel. We have a really special guest today, and Otaku. Otaku Young's gonna introduce her, and then I'm gonna monitor the chat room. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, so as our part of our ongoing series this month to celebrate Asian American Islander Heritage Month, we have a wonderful community artist with us. She is going to kind of introduce herself in more detail, but Alexandra Bustos, welcome to our little humble social media channel. And yeah, please introduce yourself to our followers.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Alex. Or Alexandra, I guess, whatever you guys prefer. It's just Alexandra's a little bit of a mouthful, so I get it. So oh no, I, I'm
she
a,
does not have older sisters.
no, I
Keep
have two
quiet.
younger brothers. I am a Filipino artist based in Vancouver, and I work in film and animation, and I also do part time at a comic book store. And I've been collecting comics for just about 2-ish years.
No,
But my
that's
comic
cool.
collection is so heavily like molded around like API characters, so I'm very very excited to like really talk about it. I've never like I try and talk about it on different shows, but it's difficult when it's not with like members of the community, you know what I mean? So this is I've been very excited for this, and this is something that already means so much to me. I'm just blown away. I'm so happy to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
We're
Oh,
really happy you're here.
yeah, we're really happy to have you. Um,
Yeah.
so, just a point of clarification now, Alex, you're in Vancouver, British Columbia, correct?
Yes, I am. Is there a
Hmm.
Vancouver in the States?
There's a Vancouver, Washington.
Oh, oops.
Um, so,
No.
so are you Canadian?
I am Canadian, yeah. I
Hmm.
identify as Asian Canadian. Both of my parents are from the Philippines, but we're Filipino Chinese.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm a very big mix.
Uh
I
huh.
think people just think I look like a mix of Asian. I look like every kind of Asian, apparently.
Yeah, you
So,
do look Korean to us too.
sorry.
You do look Korean to us too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. I get Korean a lot. I actually get Indonesian a lot lately.
Really?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the complexion, but my complexion very much throws off people when I tell them I'm Filipino.
Hmm.
Mm.
But then they start hearing my last name and they're like, "Oh."
Now, yeah, tell us a little bit about what it's like to live in Vancouver. Talk about I know I've been there to visit because I'm in Seattle, so I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
get.
you're
Yeah,
neighboring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Only
only
3 hour
three
drive.
hours
Only 3 hour
away.
drive. Yeah.
And we've been there a couple of times, and it's such a beautiful city.
Oh, it is.
So much to do.
Yes.
Can you talk about, yeah, just what what it's like living there and growing up there?
Sure, yeah. I was very fortunate because Vancouver, at least most parts of it, are very Asian like cities, Asian dominant cities. So Richmond is where my family is from. It's a city that's neighboring to like the actual city of Vancouver. Have you been there?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like all Asians. It's like
yeah, it's
they're
like
all
all
from like
Asian.
Hong Kong, they're all from Taiwan. And it's just like it's the best place to eat, which is super awesome because it's just like everything's a hole in the wall. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everything feels like grandma's house, which is so awesome. Like the xiaolong bao here is so good.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Like
No,
I can't.
my wife and I we go up there specifically to eat Asian food, like
Yeah,
Japanese
exactly.
food and Chinese food. So yes.
Yeah, that is exactly what the city is essentially for. Like even the signs, our second language as Canadians is French, but all the signs in Richmond are Chinese. Like it's not even sometimes it's not even English. It's in Chinese. Hey.
Cool.
But I'm very happy to have grown up there because I was like surrounded by just people like me. but there are also like communities where it's very dominantly like Caucasian, and like it's especially like the comic community. Once I started collecting comics, it was when I moved here into like downtown Vancouver, where it wasn't as like Asian centralized. Um, so it was a little bit of a sort of not really a culture shock, but a community shock to me.
Hmm.
But it was really interesting to see so many different types of people collecting comics, but there weren't actually a lot of Asians, and I think locally I might be the only one that I know of.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
I don't know
I
any
mean, I
other.
don't understand. We dominate. Asians seems to dominate in our community.
Yeah, in the art community, not so much in the collecting community though.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of people to talk to about this kind of stuff in person. So again, like this entire thing just means so much to me because I can talk about like Sun Wukong, which is like such a big thing in comics right now. Just like have you watched American Born Chinese yet?
Oh,
Or read it?
I want to watch it. I just don't have Disney Plus, but is
Oh,
it?
it's so
Yeah,
good. It
is it
is
good?
so good. Yeah.
It looks
They
good.
have
Yeah.
oh my god, I forgot who they have playing Sun Wukong,
Mich-
but he's so good.
Uh-huh.
I think uh it wasn't Daniel Hone, it was somebody else. But the cast for it is amazing, and each episode is also directed by like a huge Asian like figure in media. Like
Yeah.
there's this one episode that's directed by Lucy Liu,
Oh
and
wow.
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
so excited. They did like all the gods in this like Chinese mythology so much justice. They had like Lady Iron Fan. They had they had Sun Wukong. They had the bull, the demon bull king, and these are stories that I've heard before. So to see them and like see them in comics and then see them on TV, I'm like, whoa,
But
wow,
you
that's awesome.
did you say Sun Wukong?
Yeah.
Wait, we say it same way. We say it same way.
It's
Sun
the
Wukong.
yeah.
Sun Wukong.
Yeah.
It's the same, right? The Monkey King, right?
Yes,
Yeah, Monkey King.
Yeah.
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 Okay, we say it exactly the same way. Sun Wukong. Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
My family is Filipino Chinese, but we're Hokkien. So we come from like a little bit southern China, because I think that they most of the Hokkien community immigrated to the Philippines.
Yeah.
So a lot of Filipino Chinese people are Hokkien. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I
I-
read the book. I haven't read the comic book. Sun Wukong.
Oh,
But,
you haven't read it?
no, but I
It's
read
so
the book. I
good.
read the book. So,
Oh, well, I have it here. There is one here. There's a show right now called American Born Chinese, and this is
it's all about Sun Wukong.
yes. It's
Wow.
very much all about Sun Wukong, and then
It's not Jackie Chan type
journey.
of Sun Wukong.
no,
right?
it is
it's
so,
like a
so
it's like a
good.
teenage coming of age story
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
slash superhero.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it tells like the entire story. Like it even shows him. You know that story about him peeing on the 5 hands on the 5 fingers? Like there he is.
Oh,
Like it's super
Wow.
cool. When I started reading this, it was just absolutely mind blowing. Like, there he is,
Yeah.
marking his territory on the hands of God. So when I read this, I was like, oh, this is so cool.
is he
Wait,
riding
so-
a cloud there? Is he riding
Yeah.
a cloud while he's doing that?
Yeah.
Who's the publisher of that
Who
that
is the
graphic
publisher?
novel?
Can I
Yeah.
see the cover?
Oh, the cover. This is the
Yeah.
cover.
Okay.
American Born Chinese.
So that's a Marvel property?
No, this is an independent. I think it's
Independent? Okay.
First Second is the name
Okay,
of the
cool.
publisher.
Wow.
But it is so amazing. It tells the entire story of him, of Sun Wukong, and how like he kind of matures throughout his journey, and it mixes it with like coming of age stories. So this was absolutely amazing. After I read it, it also tackles a lot of like modern day racism, which is
Mm.
sort of like my partner is also Asian. So when we were watching the TV show, we were talking about the sort of it wasn't subtle racism, but it was more like racist uh, terms that people didn't think were racist. Like people coming up to Asian people and being like, "Oh, I love BTS." Yeah, I'm like, that has nothing to do with me, you know. I don't know. I don't listen to them, but cool.
Making an assumption, right? Making an
Yeah,
assumption.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I people assume I like BTS, and it's not like I dislike them, but I don't really. Yeah.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
But
They
yeah.
assume I don't like Blackpink.
Yeah, yeah,
That's me.
Blackpink, they like K-pop. Like, there's no hate to people who like these things, but it's not like every Asian person that likes them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think seeing so many new faces in comics that look like ours is just amazing. Like this entire API month, I've been just drooling over the new series for DC, the 3 that they're bringing out, and the API variants for Marvel. So
Nice.
good, so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
That's awesome that this. I'm just glad to see the representation. It's like for so long we in comics, at least when I was collecting them when I was younger, it was either like martial artists or some form of like
Yeah, I have that too. I actually brought that too. That's right.
yeah. Well, your take on that? Did you what'd you like? Did you like that the
Oh,
pre?
it was amazing.
Yeah.
There was this one scene or line here where Lois talks about how, as people of color, we get applauded for being able to bounce back from like all these hardships and facing adversity in the face of such not exactly intended racism. Like it's just always there because it's a systematic thing, right? Like it's in the system that we live in, so it's kind of unavoidable.
Friendly racism. Friendly racism.
It's actually a Chinese. Actually, no, I think it's Taiwanese. It's called apple sidra.
Okay.
I really like this, and I've been drinking it for a long time. It's essentially carbonated apple juice, which is really good. I don't know if they sell it in the States though, but it's really good.
We have all kind of carbonated apple juice.
I think I got this one from like our like the Asian supermarket here. It's called TNT. Yeah.
We might be able to find it in an Asian market then.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah, so like being able to bounce back from all these like things, but Lois goes on to say like this is our entire life, like this is how we live. We don't just know how to bounce back because we're strong. We did it because that's how we survive. That's how we thrive. And for such a long time, like people like Jim Lee, who I love, who has been such a big, major influence throughout the comic community, throughout the years that he's been active. He's essentially like a god, right? But he learned, he didn't just learn how to go through all that. That's what he had to do. He had to work extra hard because of the way he looks, because of the heritage that is behind him, and because he's not, a Caucasian man.
Made us stronger.
Yeah.
No, that's a great point. Like people look at Jem and just think like things came easy for him, but look at his career of his legacy, and it's just incredible some of the things he's accomplished.
Exactly.
One thing, going back to Girl Taking Over, one thing I really appreciated was when I found out Lois Lane was Japanese American. That added, without even going into the history of Japanese Americans, it added a whole other layer to the character of Lois.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that here's this person who shares this history with her community, the injustice of internment during the Second World War, and then taking that knowledge of injustice and applying it to her profession of journalism, right? That
Right.
just, it totally fits into the formation of her as a character. And it's probably not even, blatantly stated, but
Mhm.
it is implicit in terms of her identity. So
Right.
I really like that portrayal of Lois, that transition or transformation of Lois to just add more depth to the character that we love.
Yeah, of course. Like well, when I first found out, I flipped. I was so excited. I met Ariel at Emerald City, and we clicked immediately because we were both like Filipino girls who loved pink, and we were just like we were squealing at the booth, and we were calling each other like, oh, I was calling her ate. Ate means like big sister in Tagalog, so it was just like a huge sort of sisterhood kind of moment. You're into comics, I'm into comics. You're Asian, I'm Asian. It was awesome.
They
Um,
were here, the Ario and the
yeah, I saw. I texted her, and then I don't know if she's gotten it yet, but 'cause I think they're on their like big tour right now. But yeah, no, I saw the video and it was awesome, and I saw that you had David Nakayama. I also saw that you had Philip Tan, who I also very kindly met at Emerald City. And yeah, these are all like super huge, great
yeah,
Asian artists. I can't stop smiling. I'm so happy.
yeah.
Well, that's
We were really happy because we were able to, be able to talk to them and see
Yeah.
them succeed. I like to see fellow Asians succeed. So,
Yeah, me too. It's so um, inspiring and
yes, yes,
motivational
yeah.
as like an artist myself to be able to see like names that look like mine on the cover. Like it's not just like Johnson or Smith or whatever. Like that intimidated me the most when I was a kid. Um, I didn't collect comics until recently because growing up as a 12-year-old and not being able to see anybody that looks like me in the comics, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just watch like anime and stuff because that's where I'm supposed to be. Um, but I think after finally seeing so many things, like the one that introduced me into collecting comics was actually Peach Momoko.
Mm,
After I saw her stuff,
she's a wonderful artist. She's
yeah,
wonderful.
I
I
was
love
just,
her.
this is I can finally get back in and try it out, and it's been great ever since. And the amount of representation that publishers now give us as a community is so much that it's changed so much for me, and it
Mhm.
means so much to me every time that they do like little tidbits for us.
Yeah.
So I hope that they know they've made a big difference.
So, what was 12-year-old Alex into? Like, what did you read? You mentioned you're into manga, and then, uh, sort of outline for us your path to comics and what that looked like. How did you get into comics?
Sure, yeah. So my first ever exposure to Western comics was through the Flashpoint animated movie, and it was a quote that was said in like the first 5 minutes of the film because they go over the sort of relationship that Barry had with his mom. And his
Mm,
mom goes on to say, accept the things you cannot change, have the courage to change the things you can, and have the
wow,
wisdom to know the difference.
wow.
And immediately after I heard that, that was something I knew I needed to hear at
Mm.
that time in my life. And it stuck with me ever since. And so I started looking through comics, and I was like, oh, maybe I can find more stuff like this in here. Um, and eventually, I fell down the rabbit hole. But then I started realizing I felt so much like an outsider reading comics because I didn't. Nobody around me read comics because it wasn't like a very. It's Western comics aren't very exposed to sort of Asian communities. It's very much like
Yeah, I mean,
K-pop and manga, which is totally fine. And I tried those out for a little bit. I mostly tried out like either K-pop or just like reading just like American classic novels, and I read a little bit of manga, and I watched a little bit of anime, like the classics, so like Bleach, Naruto. I would tag along with my brother. Uh, but it was good. But I didn't really feel at home, like it wasn't meant for me. I'm just doing it because it's the Asian thing to do. So after a few years, I started getting back into comics because when we moved here, there's a comic book shop like 2 minutes away, and Vancouver is huge. Everything is within walking distance. And the only thing that I find I really like doing whenever I go shopping is bookstores or electronic stores or gaming stores because I'm a big nerd. So I eventually found myself there, and I was just so astounded by everything. I had gone in a few years ago as well for the first time, and I never really went back since because it's quite far. But since we moved here, I saw a Peach Momoko cover. I think it was Gwen, like one of those portraits of her, and then at the back it was just like a plain white. It was from that series, and I saw it. I was like, "Oh, it's so cool! It's so nice." And then I started flipping through the back issues because I didn't even know that they were called back issues. They were just like bins, and I was just flipping through. I saw all these Peach Momoko stuff, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! This is amazing!" And I look her up. She's Asian. She's an Asian woman, and she does so much for Marvel. And I was just like, "Whoa! There's actually room for me. There's a space that I can actually be in, even if it is online or wherever. But there is some kind of welcoming hospitality that is out there for people like me."
Mhm.
And after I saw Peach, I just kind of went down the rabbit hole over and over and over again. And now I've spent like thousands of dollars on comics. So here I am.
That's awesome. So how many like long boxes or short boxes are right behind you?
uh, Outside of this tiny room is like I share an apartment with my partner, and we have
Is your partner nerd too?
sorry.
Is your partner nerd too?
Yeah, he
Wow,
also
he's
collects.
a very lucky nerd.
Yeah, we collect a lot together. We collect like video games and comics, just about everything. But we have maybe like 30-ish, almost 30-ish. Not nearly as much as everybody else, but it's still a lot of money.
30-ish short boxes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a lot. A
Yeah.
lot.
Wow.
And you just started collecting like a few years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
I know.
No, that's awesome. I mean, it's all
Young girl, young lady, comic book nerd. That's just it's blowing our brains out right now.
right.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
think
different from
when the regulars started to see me, like the regular owner as well of my local comic book shop, all the regulars were like, "What is she doing? Why does she keep showing up?"
There's manga here.
Yeah, it was like there's the K-pop cafes that way. But it was a fun thing to kind of like surprise them with because I would walk away with the most. I pulled the most, which is like too much. But I was going overboard for a little bit,
Yeah.
but I'm happy.
Mm.
So you like Peach's stuff.
I do.
So we're both Peach collectors. By the way, are you going to Rose City Comic Con?
I am going to New York. I
Oh,
don't know if she's going to be there, but that's the next one I'm going to.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know if she's gonna be there, but I would imagine so, right? Or maybe she's
After last year's incident, I wouldn't blame her if she didn't
Mm,
go.
okay. Yeah. Well,
Um,
she's coming to Portland in September, so if you have like bandwidth to go, and she'll be there. Did you? So you
It's
were
in
in New York?
Portland?
Yeah, it's in Portland. September, and there's still tickets available.
It's really close.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought
So
that.
were you in New York City Comic Con when she was there last year?
No, my first big ever Comic Con was this year. Was in March when I went to Emerald City.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was there too. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Otaku is the one who invited the what's that name?
David?
Sarah and
Ariel.
Alex.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's super cool. I love her pink hair. Kind of makes me want to, somehow walk into a salon and then walk out looking like her.
Yeah, and she's such a generous creator. I mean,
Oh, she's
um,
amazing.
yeah, when I visited her booth, she was so friendly and like,
Yeah. Oh, this is hers actually. This was a print I got from her. That led
oh,
me to
awesome.
that very nice friendship. This is the Fire Nation girls from Avatar.
Nice. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids used to watch Avatar all the time.
Oh, it's such a good series. I mean that's also AAPI
Yeah.
driven. It's super AAPI driven. It's based on the tribes in China and even the whole system of government that they have is also loosely based off of one of the dynasties. I don't remember which one.
But
But
it
yeah.
reminds me of a Sonogong too, in a way. All that
How
magic
so?
and stuff.
Oh yeah, the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what other things do you collect besides Peach?
I collect a lot of Asian artists specifically. That is my main thing to collect. I really like Daiki Ruan, which is the you know him. Awesome. Yeah,
Heard of him,
cool.
yeah.
Whenever I say these names, nobody knows them. This is so much.
He's
shooting.
otaku. He's otaku.
Yeah, so Daiki Ruan, Kim
Myself.
Jacinto. Do you know Kim Jacinto? Yeah.
Okay.
He did most recently the covers for Marauders.
Okay.
Next to Kale as well. I also collect a lot of Rosebesh, which I really like. And a lot of mostly just featured Asian artists that are usually big in Asia. For example, like Yoshitaka Amano, I really, really like. I also really like I forgot their name. They did this. Shirahama. So this year was really one of my
Oh,
favorite
cool.
artists. Yeah. They've done another one for Punchline, I think, as well, which I don't know if I have here. This entire room is all pink comics and women. So I try and make sure my theme stays on point.
It's all within your reach.
Yeah, some of them they're all over. This is a very tiny office, but it's all pink. So if I don't know if I can show you. It
Oh,
looks
wow.
like that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then I've
That is
got
so
that
cool.
going on.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it's all pink and all women. So I try and make sure to also have mostly Asian characters in here.
Cool. All right, now we're going to get into your career as an artist. Yeah, let's talk about some of the projects that you're either working on or have worked on.
Hello. Yeah, sure. Well, mostly right now, as of right now, I'm doing just freelancing stuff. I have worked as a concept artist, a matte painter, an environment designer, and a layout designer. But I haven't actually been in a studio since COVID. So I've sort of been exploring myself since then, what I want to do. I don't know if I would like to pursue comics. It does seem very interesting to me, but it's a whole other field. It is completely different. I am so used to working with a certain kind of pipeline for animation, and I'm very well versed in it.
School?
Sorry?
Or film school? Are you going to
I
Vancouver?
went to I went to a community college, just because the film schools here they only cover, or they mostly cover video games, and I wanted to go into film and animation.
I see.
So Vancouver Film School is, strangely enough, mostly for video games. We should just call it that. And then there's also a university here that provides a very good animation program, but it's It's quite out of my budget, and because it's like a private program, it's very, very pricey.
I mean, that's a well-known school for film.
Sorry?
Vancouver Film School is a well-known school for film.
Yeah,
animation,
yeah.
yeah.
Now it's very much known for video games, which is very strange.
That's
Well,
odd.
not very strange, but it's interesting.
I mean, if you know how to do video game, you know how to film. I mean, that's
Yeah, that's true.
Can you get up some of Alex's work, and we can have her talk about
on our
Oh,
IG.
yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
thanks. I don't remember the last thing I did. I've been kind of guilty. I've been playing Zelda all month.
I love that game.
Obviously, you watched the Super Mario's movie.
I
Your thoughts
did.
on it?
It was good. It was so fun. It was just honestly mindless fun, and I love it. I love movies like that. I like stories like that. Things that are a little bit too heavy, I don't usually typically watch or just interact with.
Mhm.
But I like things that are super, super ridiculous and fun. Hey, there
All
I am. That's me. Yeah, I think the last thing I did was at Big EA. That
Nice.
80 miles. Yeah.
80 miles. Wow.
You got a
That's
little.
awesome.
You got your own little stamp.
Yeah, I'm
You-
trying it out. All of the Asian artists tend to do a signature like that.
You got to do it.
Yeah,
you
right?
gotta do it
Like,
that
it's like
way.
an Asian staple.
Yeah.
I
You
feel
didn't
like-
carve your own stamp. You have to carve
with
your
the
own stamp.
stamp.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
sign.
exactly.
Just do the stamp.
You get like
Yeah.
the Chinese characters in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta carve your stamp because those things are very unique because they hand carve those. They're very
Yeah.
unique. You know, people can tell the fake from the real ones. So,
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
you
now
know,
I gotta do that.
In Asia, that is your signature
Yeah, exactly.
for contracts and stuff.
I've seen a lot. Even like Jane Luen Yang does it. Like he does it throughout the entire book. Actually, like there's stuff here with like the little
Oh,
red
yeah.
stamp,
That's
but it's
so
throughout
cool.
the entire thing. Like
Oh.
that's very interesting, which I really like it. But yeah, it's essentially the Asian signature.
So talk about this piece. It's beautiful. Obviously, it's the
you.
hip hop homage. You know, we love Miles. We love we're looking forward to seeing the second installment.
Yeah, it's super great. So that hip hop piece that I was working on, it was mostly because the hip hop variants that Marvel have done. It's so hard to find, and they're so difficult to find anywhere for me at least. And I'm a very big hip hop fan. I really like Eminem. I like Biggie. I like Tupac, and like Wu-Tang. Like Wu-Tang. Sorry, Wu-Tang. This is my Asian coming out. But these are people that I listen to every single day. And hip hop is also a medium that is specifically from the working class of America in the early 90s early 90s and late 80s. That's where it started. And I personally am such a big fan of anything that sort of tells stories about the struggles of being in a working class. As somebody who has been in that, sort of area for so long of my life, for so much of my life, and the stories that they tell about struggle, about getting to where they are, about staying humble even if you do, achieve these certain goals of your life, and just the really internal struggles of the mind and how you grow as a person and being human essentially. So I love things like that, and I find that hip hop has the most stories about that. So all of these big hip hop artists that I really, really admire is because of the stories that they tell. So
Mhm.
that was my
And-
birthday piece.
And that piece, what kind of inspired or motivated you to do it?
I was listening to one of Biggie's songs for the first time. I actually started off just recently with hip hop, or at least more intensely. I had listened to it growing up, but not as often as I do now. And I
Yeah.
listened to him rapping about what it was like living in an apartment, just trying to feed his family, trying to, take care of his mom, being kicked out for making too much noise when all he was trying to do was just practice his performances, and being called on by the cops and things like that. So after I started listening to this album that told his entire story, I was just so inspired. And I know that Miles was actually one of the big reasons I started listening to Biggie again, was because they played Hypnotize in Spider Verse, and I was just listening to the entire album. And when I heard Hypnotize, I'm like, oh yeah, should probably go and listen to more Biggie. Um,
By the way,
so
happy belated birthday.
oh,
Uh,
thank you. Thanks.
Haha, there's a girl taking. Oh wait, here's you're cosplaying, Lois.
Yes, I am. Thank you for
Oh.
catching that.
Oh wait, were you the one that was cosplaying?
Yes, that's me.
Oh, that's because Ariel shared that story,
Yeah.
and so that was you. Oh,
Yes.
okay, cool. That's so cool.
It goes around, comes around.
Yeah, like immediately after I heard that they had made Lois like an American Asian woman, I was just mind blown. So I had to.
Right? Yeah. So
I had to.
exactly the same thing. Like I saw that this was back. It was March, right, when
Yeah.
Emerald City,
Mhm.
and they had announced the book, but they hadn't released it yet.
Yeah.
But I was so excited to meet, Ariel there and
Mhm.
just get her thoughts. I thought they might have like advanced copies, so I went there, but they didn't. But it was so interesting to just talk to her about the character and the project, and like yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
it was so such a nice connection. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
She's the best. I love her so much.
He said,
Yeah, it really
She's
is great.
"This is the best," and you even got her barrettes.
Oh yeah, the little clips. Yeah, so I got the whole team calling me Lois Lane. That was one of the best days of my life.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I really hope DC does more with this,
Ooh.
like a sequel or something, but hopefully they follow up with it.
I hope so too. A lot of people since that book actually have been fan casting Lois Lane as an Asian woman, which I really like. They've been using Jessica Henwick, who was also oh my goodness, she was in Iron Fist. What was her name? Started with a C. Colleen. Who is also an Asian character in Marvel, but I think she'd be great. She was also in have you seen Knives Out? The Glass Onion?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was Peg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got real curious.
Mhm.
I'm a huge Lois Lane comic book fan,
Mm-hmm.
so I collect from like Silver Age and up.
Mm-hmm.
And I got real curious because one of the Sarah said something about her hair is black always,
Yeah.
so she could pass for half Japanese. So I was wondering, they do have a first appearance of Lois Lane parents, so I bought the comic book just for that.
Uh-huh.
And I was wondering what her mother would look like, right?
Yeah.
Would she have a black hair too?
Exactly.
And I opened it up, and she was an old lady, and
Uh-huh.
she had all white hair, so you
Oh,
could
no!
tell. I can confirm.
No. Maybe she had black hair when she was younger.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we
that's
can
me. I
just
mean,
say that. That's canon now. That's what it is. We're deciding it right here.
Let's make it canon. Wow, this Ghost Rider is incredible.
Thank you so much.
Like, so these pieces, are they just part of your like portfolio, or are you selling them? What
Oh yeah, do you do commissions?
I do commissions.
Okay.
But most of these pieces on my social media page are characters solely because I've spent so long of my artist life as an environment artist. And after spending time away from a studio, I sort of realized, I mean, the entire concept for me of being an artist is being a storyteller. That is essentially what I am to my core. And I know that I am a big storyteller, and I want to use that sort of drive in my art always. But it's sometimes a little hard to do it when you don't have a character in it. So I wanted to learn characters, and after I got into comics, I started to see all these characters, and I'm like, I want to draw them. I want to draw them. I don't know how, but I'll learn. So most of my art online is my personal stuff because I use all my personal time to do character art and to try and practice it and see if I can find like a style that fits me. But my roots are traditional painting. I did not study animation. I studied fine arts and art history. So I have only really been to school for traditional painting and acrylics and things like that. So I ended up sort of playing with around traditional brushes that sort of have the feel of acrylic and oil, just to kind of put into this piece.
Yeah.
Kind of exploring it a little bit more. Yeah. I also really like Ghost Rider.
I love the color of the flame. It's
Thank you so
just
much.
so nice.
At the end of the show, I'll be giving away commission from.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Alex? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Alex is going to do
yeah.
a commission for us? Woohoo!
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see some more some more pieces. Oh. Yeah, talk about this one.
Thank you. I was watching you know Ash and Pikachu, right? Of course. So they retired the characters, unfortunately, and during like their last season, they started visiting their old friends from like the very early 90s, I think, cartoons, and they started visiting all like the Pokemon they've had before. And I didn't actually watch Pokemon growing up. I was into Yu-Gi-Oh! And
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh!
yeah, I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! I played
Me
way
too.
too much Yu-Gi-Oh!
I have a whole collection of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh wow, me too. Let's play.
I gotta play my dragon deck.
I think I still have an Exodia deck, so we'll see. I think it's illegal now, though. I don't think I can.
Yeah.
use cards anymore.
All my cards, I'm sure, is illegal.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's illegal.
I have one move where if I use that card, all my dragon out of my deck comes out. So.
Oh no, you're not using that. No. I'll just pull out all of Exodia in one go. If you do that. Boom, done. But yeah, no, they started visiting their old Pokemon friends in the first region. So they had like a scene where they visited them, and then the Squirtles were all wearing like little Power Ranger outfits. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. I really like that.
That is cute. Oh, nice.
Thanks. Yeah, this was.
I hate to point to a girl and say you look like a luggage.
Oh no! It was
You know what I mean, but right? The traveling cases.
Yeah.
The
With the little what are they? Stickers? Yeah.
Yeah, stickers. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually had a lot of fun with this one. This one, Harley is my favorite character in comics, mostly because
she could take that kind of joke.
Yeah, she's
she was slamming with the bat, but
yeah. She's such an advocate for so many women. She's also a survivor of domestic abuse, child abuse, every kind of like bad thing under the sun she's gone through. And the amount of things that she's gone through while she still manages to stay honestly like blissfully optimistic. It's tough. It is so tough. She has so much trauma under her skin, but she is still trying to be the best version of herself that she can be. And I love that. And I look up to that so much. And she also spends a lot of her time fighting the patriarchy, as all of us should. And she's just, I love her so, so, so much. She is a huge advocate for how I want to live my life personally. Like she's a take no shit kind of girl. And I love that about her. And whenever I read about her or I see her, it makes me feel brave. You know, it makes me
Yeah.
feel like despite all of these things that I've gone through, I can be badass. I can be a badass girl just like her.
Yeah.
So she means the world to me. Yeah.
No, that's great. It's always good to have, like a character that you connect with. And again, this piece just so colorful and brings out her personality.
Yeah. Oh, this is just a picture of my first
book you
flight
got?
that I got. Yeah.
Cool.
As per Alex, I asked for one of the only Asian women in that series that Marcus had done for Tim Drake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I thought she was super cool. So I'm trying to collect as many just Asian women characters ever because it feels whenever I see them, I just feel happy.
Did you prepare some collection?
Sorry?
Did you prepare some collection to show us?
I did, yeah. I
Okay,
did, but they're actually mostly all API stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Let's see it.
So did you want me to do my top 5 now, or is that for later?
Let's do it now. Yeah.
Because this is
Okay,
sort of a
awesome.
segue into your collection.
So my most recent favorite is this character here, Red Canary. She's a new DC character that debuted just a few months ago. She was designed by Dan Mora, and she had her debut in this one here. So it's Dark Crisis. And she is like she's actually an Asian woman who lives in Seattle. And her first fight is at the market, the Pike Market.
Wow. I got to get that issue now.
It's so good. It is so good.
I love Dan Mora's artwork.
Yeah.
If there's a person that
amazing.
I think is like just the biggest star right now, it's him probably.
Oh, definitely. I think I have the design variant right here. Yeah. So this here was the design variant for her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I like that.
It's so cool.
She's so cool looking.
Right? And yeah, so after I saw this, I immediately thought, holy crap, she looks just like me. You know, and she acts just like me. And
that reminds me. I tried to do the silk with your likeness. I failed.
I loved it though. It's so cute. I love Silk. I kind of wish that they rewrote, or well, not really rewrote because you can't do that. But I wasn't super happy with her first appearance. It was very much kind of just Asian fetishizing, which I'm not exactly a big fan of. But I'm happy that I'm getting some nods from you guys because you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because people tend to disagree with me, and I'm like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. You can't see it. I can see it.
Yeah.
But she's very well written now, and I think she just started her new series, volume 4 or 5, and it's written by Emily Kim, who has also written a few Dr. Aphras, which I also really like.
I've been meaning to ask. The Monkey King is written by is DC, right? The Monkey King?
The Monkey Prince.
Monkey Prince. Is it Monkey Prince?
Yes, that's DC.
The Monkey Prince is DC.
Yes.
But ABC is Disney.
Yes.
And it's not. Those two aren't related at all.
No.
Yeah, they're not related.
It's very strange though. They're essentially the same story because it's it's Sun Wukong's kid, and they have the Demon Bull King and just all the same characters. But I think they don't have that that other character that is supposed to be providing the coming of age story. But it's still, they're both really good, and Sun Wukong in any kind of sense is good. So
I mean,
so that design variant is that Mora's work?
Yes, this is Dan Mora.
Oh wow!
right?
Yeah, I gotta get that.
Right? I have an extra. I can send one to you.
Oh no!
Yeah. No, I collect a lot of extras for APIs specifically, so I can introduce them to people. So I can show them and be like, this is important to me, and this
Yeah.
is also going to be very important to other Asian girls out there who are just like me, who don't have anybody to talk to about these things, who don't have characters that look like them. And to have this one character in DC that looks almost exactly like me, um, means the world to me. When I saw her, I flipped. I was
Yeah.
crying. I was on the floor. You
Yeah.
know, I'm being overly dramatic, but it's all true.
Yeah,
This is
and that would
the
be
world.
just such a great cosplay. I mean,
Right?
it's such
Right?
a nice, such a nice design of a character. So stylish.
When you go to con, you're gonna cosplay?
Yes, this.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I'm trying to
Okay.
put one together. I'm trying to put it together for New York. But
Awesome.
I'm trying to find like a matching thing for my partner, which I don't know what it's gonna match with, but we'll see. He wants to dress up as Shang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is really
Yeah.
cool. Because I like Shang in the MCU movies because he has those Jordans, which are really nice. But yeah, this was one of my favorite ones. This was the second cover of her that came out, and then this one was the first one, the
Yeah.
initial design. Yeah,
That's so cool.
I hope people check her out. I do a lot of art of her
Great.
because I think
Yeah.
she's super dope. Yeah. And then
If you're doing the consignment work, you have to have your likeness.
oh yes, that's exactly. If I don't put my likeness in, it's not right. It's not right. It's not the same character. But speaking of Dan Mora, my other favorite one was this one.
Oh,
Yeah. It's just a
Harley.
compilation of like Harley. Tessa from Tessa's a Nerd got this for me. She got it at I think New York Comic Con last year. It was an exclusive there, and then she sent it to me. Which is very kind of
Nice.
her.
Yeah, that's where I saw
Wow,
you at
that's
the
beautiful.
Tessa's channel.
Yeah.
There, like four ladies come on there and talk
Yeah.
about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I saw you.
That's awesome. Yeah, again,
Right?
I love Dan Mora's art. It's so like appropriate for the medium. You know, I just can't think of
Yes.
anybody doing it better than him. It's just so
Exactly.
yeah.
Have you seen the new? I guess it's ended, so it's not very new anymore. The TMNT and Power Ranger crossover that he did just recently.
No, I haven't had a chance to
Oh,
check that out.
it's so good.
Okay.
He does the interiors for it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he does the interiors and the covers, and then I think for the interiors right now, he's only doing World's Finest and Shazam, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I collect those just for Dan Mora. Yeah. This is really fun. And then
Wait, is
I
it
have,
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? Are they Asian?
I don't actually know because they
Culturally, yes, but
Yes.
not
I
in
mean,
the
they use all
typical.
the Asian martial arts.
Because like their sensei is
Asian.
Japanese.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're raised to be culturally Japanese, but they're just animals.
They're New
basically.
Yorkers.
They're New York.
Yeah, whatever New York is classified as.
I mean,
think they're a whole
the sensei
other
is red.
breed of
I mean,
New Yorkers.
Sensei is animal too.
Actually, hold on. Sorry. In the last issue of the Dan Mora one, they have a cloaking brooch or something, and they're black kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they look
Cool.
awesome. They look so cool. But I'm very excited to see any kind of rendition of them. But speaking of which, this is another one of my favorites.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Speaking of the turtles,
I'm a huge fan of
that's
the turtle.
that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm very turtle obsessed.
Who's the artist?
I don't actually know. I just found this like 4 weeks ago at a show, but this was for the Adventure series, I think. Does it say?
Yeah,
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Batman Adventures,
Yeah.
and then it's a crossover. That's awesome.
It's so cute. Have you read the TMNT and Batman crossover?
I haven't had a chance. I did see some of the covers, and it looked very interesting. So hopefully, there's more of that content. I think it was pretty popular, actually,
Yeah, it
right?
was really
Yeah.
good. They made an animated movie too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really good. That was the first exposure for me to that crossover.
Mhm.
I was just trying to go through all the DC animated movies, and then I saw the Turtles one, and it was mind blowing. It was really, really good. I didn't think it could work, honestly, because they seem so different. But they really, really made it work. So I'm very, very happy with this.
Cool.
Yeah, so cute. And then my last, or I guess my second to last one, is this cover by Mike Del Mundo, who is also a Filipino artist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Spider Punk is my favorite spider.
How he's playing?
Spider Punk.
So cool.
Yeah, that is a cool cover. Wow.
Right? It's definitely my favorite spider related cover ever.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I can find anything in the next whatever that will ever top it, because I think Mike Del Mundo is amazing. Mike Del Mundo might be my favorite artist. He has such like an artistic style to him that's very abstract at times. He's done the interiors for Elektra and Thor and Avengers, I think, and he recently did a Spawn one as well. But it looks very much like Bill Sikowitz,
Mhm.
which is very, very messy, but also, you can tell that it's messy in terms of the story as well. When there's so much going on, they still get like every single detail in there, which is why it's messy, but it correlates well with what's going on in the scene. And I love that. And I think as an art student, as, somebody from that community, it it makes me feel more at home whenever I see
Yeah.
stuff like that, because I feel like I studied that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. I think comic books are now heading in this more artistic sort of like, it's just not one specific style now. You can bring in all different kinds of materials, elements, and yeah, great example you're holding in your hand right there. Just
Yeah,
beautiful work.
it's amazing. I don't know how he does it all the time, but it's insane, the stuff that he does. And it's always very, like, most of his personal work is very hip hop based, which aligns with my stuff. He did a he did a sticker recently, or I guess art for a sticker, of Tupac and Ryu from Street Fighter and Raphael from the Turtles all sharing this one red bandana. Like they have the same red bandana just all wrapped around their heads, and I'm like, that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites ever.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then my last one is kind of just like a personal favorite, just because I really like Eminem, and he's probably my favorite artist ever. Oh, it's very
Ooh.
shiny. I get it out of there. But it was the Scarlet Witch Marvel hip hop variant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Oh, that's Scarlet
That's
Witch.
beautiful.
right. These are so hard to find, and it makes me frustrated.
Yeah, the hip hop variants are just they're such coveted books. It's really hard to get them.
Yeah, I'm still missing a few. Like I don't really collect the modern hip hop ones. Like I'm still looking for LL Cool J. I still don't have the Wu-Tang ones. And I think I'm missing a Tribe Called Quest, which is one of my favorite hip hop
Ooh.
groups as well. Yeah.
Yeah. We love
Um,
Tribe.
Yeah.
So is it hip hop variant? Is it like a sneaker variant? Where
Sneaker variant? What are sneaker variants? Those are a thing.
yeah, like when Mile had the sneakers.
Oh, I were those photos?
No, those are drawings, but
Really?
yeah,
Damn.
people who didn't collect comic books, who collect sneakers, bought all those.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Then this is very much like that. Like
Yeah.
they'll have like I know the big one right now is oh my goodness, what's his name? To Pimp a Butterfly. Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. So his cover is huge right now, and then I think there's one by Method Man that's also really good, and it's sort of gaining a lot of popularity in the internet right now. So this was super hard to find, and this is the only Eminem one. I
Wow.
wanted them to do like one of the LP Mathers ones, but this is this this is perfect. So I'm very happy with it.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, it's awesome. So I hope maybe eventually down the line I'd like to try and make my own hip hop variants because they're so hard to find. So I'll do it myself.
Consign yourself.
Yeah, do it myself. Nobody will give it to me. Nobody will sell it to me. Do it myself. Yeah, so that was most of it. Oh, that's just my haul.
Again?
that's just a haul.
All the stickers and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
awesome.
sorry. Is it okay if I talk about one more book?
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you so much. I love putting this one out there because it was the first one in terms of story that meant so much to me, which is this one right here, Superman Smashes a Clan.
Oh, nice.
This is also written by Jean Luen Yang. And it's very much about how Superman helps a newly immigrated family from China who had moved to Chinatown and then moved to Central Metropolis. And he finds himself sort of in the same struggle as them, not in the sense where he deals with the same kind of racism every day, but he's an alien. He's not a white guy. You know, like people think he's white. He's an alien.
He's Asian. Superman's
Yeah,
Asian.
yeah, exactly. He could be anything under the sun.
That's why he and Lois are together. Come
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
You guys gonna start a race war here?
Oh my god. But yeah, no, this was like my first ever exposure in comics to like a story that actually I could relate to. You know, you get the stereotypical, oh, that food stinks, or you're eating dog, or whatever. Like, I've had that throughout my life. And every time I hear it, it sucks. And I get mad and I get upset. So to be able to find a character that is so popular and beloved by many fight for my side of the story was just jaw-dropping. This is a book that means so much to me, and I am trying to push it aggressively in everybody's face so they can read it. But I am so happy with this book, and I'm so grateful that it exists because I never would have thought to have ever seen Superman fighting for people like me, and like very openly fighting for people like me, not just being like, oh yeah, we have to save everybody. We have to save everybody. Like, no, we're helping these newly immigrated people from China fight the racism that they face in Metropolis. So this is something I'm very happy
I
about.
love it. I love it.
I
Well, you put so many books on my to read list now. I'm going to be very busy in the next couple of weeks.
you have to watch this video again to. I have to watch the video again to get those books again. But I just picked up a free book. It was I think Clark Kent meets young Clark Kent meets young Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah.
In that book, they race swapped Clark Kent's parents to
Asian.
no, Black American.
Oh, Black. That's right.
Oh.
He's raised by Black Americans.
What
So-
is this?
It was one of those free book.
Oh, the free comic book day.
Yeah, it was
I
one of
remember
free
that.
comic book.
Yeah. Did
So
Lex have like curly hair or something?
yeah. And it was interesting, and I was wondering how they're gonna tackle the issue because the Black parents were farmers,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm sure they went through some kind of discrimination, you know. And I
Yeah.
don't know how as a white-looking child to the Black parents, I don't know how he would deal with that, you know. So
Oh yeah, that's always harsh.
so I thought that was an interesting take.
Yeah, I hope that they tackle that in the book.
Huh?
It's very important to have that distinction to sort of like talk about when people of color adopt a different, like a Caucasian kid, you know, you always get like, I've heard people in public be like, oh, that's not your kid, that's not your kid. Like, no, that's their kid. And being Superman, an alien could be anything. You know, it just so happens that he had white parents. But that has nothing to do
I mean,
necessarily with his
when he's a
identity.
superpower, his super intelligence, will that help him overcome those?
Hopefully. Super maturity.
Yeah.
Super maturity.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think that's one thing about the Clark Kent character as well. He couldn't truly be himself
Hmm.
growing up or even as an adult. So that's just sort of that struggle that he as a character goes through. But
Yeah, and one of the things that the parents said, "Hey, you're different.
Hmm.
Don't show your differences."
Yes.
That's one of the message he told Clark Kent. And I'm going,
Yeah.
oh, wait a second here. You know?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of Asian families have that. I don't know if you guys got that. I got that. I got
Really?
that. I got the whole.
Well, I mean,
be a
my parents
doctor.
say you gotta learn English quick. You gotta learn English. You
Yes,
gotta
yes,
sound just like them. You know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they teach everybody who immigrates here to just forget their own language.
Yeah. Forget my language. And just,
Yeah, exactly. And I
Yeah.
hate that.
Mhm.
So it's important to kind of push that in comic books.
there was a four of us. I was a little too old to forget my language and just speak fluently. All my sisters speak fluently, but they don't speak Korean. So I'm glad I didn't lose my language.
Yeah. I'm very happy that you got to keep that, and I wish that there were more people that had the opportunity to. But hopefully, with stories like these, you know, that opportunity comes more often.
Yeah.
To sort of acknowledge what this or well, not even this community, but just the entire world is doing to people of like minority groups, right? Pushing out their cultures and just driving them to a strictly Western culture, which is, and if you don't do that, then you have to stick to, you know, your own Asian, you know, presumably Asian stuff, like how I was sort of thinking only I could do K-pop and anime. But I hope, I hope with stories like these that it can go beyond.
Well, both of you are born here?
I was born in Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah.
I came over when I was 2 years old, so I don't have much memory of Korea, but
yeah, I was naturalized Korean. I mean American.
Mm-hmm.
So I had actually swear on a Bible. I think.
yeah.
I mean, we all act like we had a Bible on, and then we're to sort of swear off our country.
Yeah. Well, you had
Swear
to
off your country?
Yeah.
Well, you had to pledge allegiance, and then you also had to take an American
Like
history,
if there's a war between
exam.
Korea or United States, I had to swear that I will defend United States.
Yeah.
Y'all are intense.
That's the American naturalization process.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't understand that. Like, you know, as a naturalized citizen, we don't have the same kind of feeling that the naturalized citizens have.
Yeah, you were forced into that. What the hell? Ooh, you got a lot of funky stuff going on down there.
Well, I mean, that's a long time ago. I don't know if it's like that now. I don't know.
I hope not.
So Alex, what's next for you? You mentioned you don't want to get into comics.
I don't know yet. I'm definitely still thinking about it. It's definitely not a strict no. But I just know that the pay is better for film and animation. And from what I've heard, I got to talk to a few artists that have very kindly been looking through my stuff at Emerald City. And I did get into contact with one of the representatives who actually represents a lot of Asian Americans. He's the same agent for Philip Tan.
Nice.
And I got his card and we started talking and he started looking over my stuff and he was like, you have really good potential and we'd like to try and explore that.
Yeah.
So
what did Philip say to you?
Oh, he was super cool. I didn't know that he was Filipino, so he actually started talking to me about how the Hokkien community immigrated into the Philippines. He told me that entire story, and I was telling him because a part of my name is also Tan. It's my mom's maiden name, so I was kind of just trying to strike a conversation and be like, "Oh, we have the same last name." And he was like, "Yeah, but this is also where it comes from." And he told me the entire history behind it. So it was very nice to hear that. As he was like drawing like super cool things, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's also really cool." But please keep going. But yeah,
Did you eventually tell him? Did you eventually tell him where you're from?
I
Where
did,
where your
yeah.
parents are from?
Yeah, I actually I was trying to speak Tagalog to him, and then he in Tagalog Big Brother is Kuya. So I tried calling him Kuya Philip because the other Filipino artists that I talk to, like I call Rian Gonzalez Ate Rian, and like Kuya Kim and like Kuya Mike, like Kuya Mike Del Mundo and stuff like that. So I tried calling him Kuya Philip, and he was like, "Please don't call me that. I feel old." And I'm like, "Oh no!" Oh, I felt so bad.
I'm sure he was just kind of kidding and
I
just,
hope
yeah.
so.
Yeah, I had to pass that test. I had to pass that test.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so tough to pass like the immigrant test in anywhere in North America, which is ridiculous. I think.
My mom passed it when she didn't even speak the language.
Well, I think the American test is a little easier probably
Oh,
than the
okay, that's
Canadian
good.
test because
Well, you have to remember what the colors of the flag mean. You have to
Oh,
name.
really?
You have to name the executive branch,
yeah,
the legislative branch. You know,
right.
you have to
Right.
name
Wow.
all those, and
But
yeah,
yeah, younger. But you're failing to mention they give you a packet with all that information
yeah. You
Oh,
for
get
you
okay.
to
all
So I
that.
need to study
memorize.
Yeah,
that.
So you
you get
just
all
study
that.
the packet,
Yeah,
and it's like part of it's multiple choice, and it's really easy. So
Oh, okay,
I think
that's good. Yeah.
most people can
yeah.
pass.
You get like 100 questions, and you just have to memorize all of them.
Is it
Yeah,
like a Scantron?
part
Like
of
a
it. I think
school
part of it
exam?
is
Like
yeah.
SAT?
That was like a 40 years ago. So,
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Maybe
But,
they've yeah, maybe now
but,
they use Scantron seats.
yeah, people don't know what the flag means, what red means, why there's 13 stripes, why there's a 50 stars. I mean, people don't know.
Even I didn't know. I didn't know that you guys had 50 states, and I also thought Orange County was a state until recently. Because we don't have counties here. So
Right.
I actually told Tessa, and she was like, Alex, what did you say? And I'm like, Orange County is a state. And she's like,
We don't understand how you work up the states over there in Canada.
I don't
Provinces,
even
right?
know most
The
of Canada.
provinces.
I know Richmond. I know where to get dim sum, and I know where to get bubble tea.
Have you been to that tonkatsu place in Vancouver?
Have you been there?
I've been there. Is it called Saku?
Yes.
That place is amazing. It's literally like the same quality you'd get in Tokyo,
Mm.
and my wife and I our jaws dropped when we ate there. We're like, wow, why don't they have this? Why don't they have this in Seattle? Because Seattle does not have that level of authenticity in the Japanese food scene here. But yeah, you're really lucky. That place is
Yeah, I
incredible.
actually live 5 minutes away from there.
Oh wow. Okay, I know.
Yeah.
I kind of know where you are. That's a nice area.
What is
Yeah.
it? What are you guys talking about? Is that a ramen place or?
Oh, there's a crap ton around.
There's a
Any
lot.
kind of
Yeah.
Asian food you will find here. Like
Yeah.
name it, it's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like there's a lot of Korean places, there's a lot of Taiwanese places, there's a lot of Malaysian places, Indonesian places, Vietnamese places. Like it's mostly Asian food here, which I'm very
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah.
Because
You are
whenever I go
lucky.
down to the States,
The quality there is much. I don't know if it has to do with maybe the I don't want to say. Well, I think the visa restrictions are a little aren't as tight as they are here in the U.S. So
oh yeah, I've
more
heard that.
chefs come
Hmm.
probably to Vancouver than they do to Seattle, right?
I
Yeah.
think
So
so.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very. I feel like whenever I go to the States, it's a very surprising difference because whenever I do go to an Asian restaurant, it's not run by Asian people. But then, like, whenever I go to, like, a Western restaurant, it's also not run by Western people.
Well,
It's very strange, but here it sort of matches with the food, like if it's
in
Japanese,
Virginia,
Japanese people.
we have a lot of sushi restaurants.
Mm.
Mostly, it's either run by a Korean or Vietnamese.
That's true.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't there Korean sushi ish? The kimbap? Is that
Yeah,
sushi?
kimbap. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, kimbap is I mean, kimbap
Well, I
and
mean,
sushi.
most there were Chinese restaurants when I was growing up
Hmm.
that were run by non-Chinese Asians. You had a lot of Koreans running Chinese restaurants. You had a lot of like, it's just kind of like people do what they need to do to get by and survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I went to a restaurant in Arkansas one time. That's like 20, 30 years ago.
Mhm.
I had a nephew come over and we went to Chinese restaurant and we found out that the Chinese restaurant was owned by a Chinese lady.
Mhm.
So I bet my nephew, hey, I bet they have a jjajangmyeon here. Do you know what jjajangmyeon is?
Yeah, black bean noodles.
Yeah, black bean noodles.
Yeah,
I bet they have jjajangmyeon here. And he goes, no.
yeah.
This-
No.
so he and I bet dollar. And so I asked the waitress, hey, you guys got Korean menu here? Normally they do have Korean menus at those restaurants. They go, no, but what do you want us to cook? We'll cook anything you want.
Oh, wow.
So I said, well, we want jjajangmyeon. She goes, I'll ask the cook. And so they made the jjajangmyeon for us.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's really cool.
So I won the dollar.
Wow. Where is this place?
That was somewhere in Arkansas. I don't know.
Oh, no, I gotta find it now. I gotta ask for every kind of Asian food.
So if you go to a restaurant that is run by a Chinese lady, they know how to cook Korean food and other country food.
Yeah, I'll post it online looking for Arkansas's lady who can cook anything.
Well, Philip was on our channel and he said something very interesting. He was giving advice to people in our chat who were also like kind of just doing art and trying to get into the comic book industry or just wanted some advice. And he said, put out a comic book, just do it, just like write and put together a comic book and show and have that as evidence that you can do the work, and that will help you in a lot of ways. So I don't know if maybe that's advice for you, but I think your art is incredible, and it'd be awesome to see it on a cover someday and be able to buy that and say, hey, this is Alex.
No, that reminds me. There's like 7 of you. You lucky dogs.
Are we doing the drawing now?
Why don't we just?
I
like all the people that's here right now.
This one, Young. I kind of want to enter this one.
Well, thank you so much. That means so much to me. One of my New Year's resolutions this year was actually to do like a web comic, to try that out, just like one chapter. So I've been trying to make up a story so far, and it's going well. I'm enjoying it a lot. But that means the world to me. Thank you so much.
So what do you want hashtag to be, Alex?
Ooh, happy AAPI month.
Happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy AAPI. AAPI. Happy AAPI, guys.
Did either of you read any of the new DC stories?
I haven't
Or
had it. Well, so I have read the preview for the uh, Girl Taking Over, but
mm,
I have not had an opportunity to get many books because I don't. I'm not. I collect comics, but I really collect back issues. I'm not reading a
mm,
lot of the current
mm-hmm,
mainstream stuff.
mm.
But again, your recommendations, I'm definitely gonna go out and try to read those.
Yay, I'm happy. Well,
Yeah,
if it's okay, I'd like to recommend one thing, which
yeah.
is like my favorite of the three that came out. So there are three new series from DC that are tied in with AAPI month. There's Spirit World, there's The Vigil, and then there's City Boy. My favorite is actually City Boy. A lot of
Okay.
people really like Spirit World, but City Boy is this character right here.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, so he's a Korean boy. I think I'm not sure if he's a teenager, but he is essentially like he has powers that the city can talk to him, and he kind of interacts with the city physically. And he's of like the lower class, so he doesn't really have a home. And his story is that he uses the city to try and find little trinkets that he can sell so he can make money to eat. But um, so again, it's like one of those sort of working class stories, and I absolutely love those. And he is suddenly like sought out by the people who gave him these powers and things like that. But I just like the idea of the city sort of being alive and helping this character
Hmm.
survive throughout
Cool.
all of um, just the struggle that he's gone through as an immigrated boy from Korea who doesn't even have a family here. So
Wow.
it was really really cool. Yeah, I really liked it. So
That's
I hope you
cool.
get to check it out.
Oh,
Yeah, his character design's cool too.
Did you get a chance to I don't know if you have I guess you wouldn't have uh NPR NPR over there. Do you have NPR
Mm-mm,
over there? Okay.
mm-mm. What is that?
It's the National Public Radio here in the US.
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to
And
listen to it on
yeah, I
stream.
think you probably stream it
Okay.
through their website.
Mm-hmm.
But they did an interview with Jim Lee in his new
Ooh,
role as the president of DC Comics.
Oh,
yeah.
really? I mean,
Yeah, and I really recommend everybody if you didn't get a chance to read the or hear the interview on NPR, go and
Otaku, let's
research.
react to the NPR. Let's react to it.
Yeah.
Listen to it and let's react to it.
Well, you know what's really interesting about that interview is like I've heard Jim Lee talk about comics and everything, um, for like what it's been 30 years now since I've been following his career. So I've heard a lot of interviews, but that NPR interview was the
Mm-hmm.
first time I actually like heard his executive voice. Like he came out as like I'm running the show now, and it was like
Wow.
he was sharing his vision and what he was focused on, like
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the business, and making sure that he's keeping as many people who love the mass audience as well as this sort of um, the audience that loves comics, us, right, keeping us happy as well as keeping the mass audiences engaged. So it was a very interesting interview. I would again recommend everybody go out and listen to that. But your thoughts on Jim Lee heading the show, because you're obviously loving what's coming out right now, related to DC content and AAPI sort of focused content. But your thoughts on his leadership?
I trust him with my life. He could kick me in the face and I'd be like, thanks. I trust him with my life. And I trust him with all these characters, and I know he's going to do a good job. And I think
Hmm.
especially because it comes from somebody who has worked his way up throughout his entire life in comics and in this industry, in this community, to make so much of himself, and he knows what the artists are going through. He knows what the writers are going through. He knows what it's like to be a fan. And he's been in every kind of corner there is in this community to know what it's like to properly lead this entire system. So I trust that man with my life. I trust that man with anything ever. And he still manages to stay humble, which is so admirable.
I can't believe he still runs that Twitch stream.
Yeah. Like the humility that he shows on a daily basis with the name of Jim Lee and being Jim Lee is just so amazing. And he is such an advocate for us as well as the AAPI community. And I'm just so proud to be able to say that he made it. He did it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he's at the top. He's in the
Yeah.
he's right there. So I am super excited to see what he does. And I trust him completely.
I did
I
saw
could give
him
him a
Well
knife and I could
I just saw
blindfold
him get really angry when
Well said.
myself.
I did see him get really angry when someone in the Twitch stream asked, "Hey, can you
How
tell
do
me
you
if I
draw
need to go
feet?
to art school?"
Oh my god. Yeah,
No,
thought
I
that
heard him
about
get mad
too.
at somebody. I heard him get mad at somebody about asking how to draw feet, and he got really angry with that person. He's like, "What do you mean? How to draw feet?" Like,
What?
and
What
then
is
he
that
just started
question?
drawing a bunch of feet just to kind of make the point. Like,
Oh no.
it was funny.
There's
People
there's
don't
an
realize
artist.
how funny Jim Lee is. Jim Lee is hilarious.
Mochis are tasty.
Mm.
Next
We
week at
are
work, we are
tasty.
getting Japanese mochi in honor of API.
Yeah, we should have
Don't
been
choke
eating
on it.
noodles.
Don't
I
Oh,
choke
like
on
that
it.
shit.
I have the red bean buns.
Oh, those are so good.
Yeah.
I like eating noodles for New Year's, but my favorite kind, I don't know if it counts as a noodle. I like tteokbokki, but they look
Tteokbokki?
like
Oh yeah,
noodles.
rice cake.
Yeah, but I eat them for New Year's, and I don't know if that counts. I don't know if my lifespan is shortened because it's a short noodle, but we'll see.
They've got long tteokbokki. I think that could
They
work.
do?
Yeah, they got like
Wow.
it's about
Yeah.
like this long maybe. Yeah.
Ooh, maybe I'll just have that instead.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
okay.
when they make these things out of what do you call those place where they mill stuff,
Mm.
they came in really long. I
Is
hate
that
to
how
cut those.
tteokbokki usually looks like?
As a kid, we're supposed to cut them. I hate to cut those. We
Oh.
want to keep it long and I just want to eat it like this.
Yeah. I thought it was just like tiny tteokbokki.
No, they were originally really long. And you had to cut them.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dangerous. I'm not gonna stop eating it.
It's fine. All right,
My
gang. Let's
favorite snack.
run it. I think we've
Yeah.
Let's
given
run it.
everybody
We got
enough.
7 entries. All right. 5. Good luck, guys. 4. This is a commission work from
For
Alex,
me.
and she will likely put her likeness in any of her.
Yeah, you'll get like a red canary.
You have to
Guys, by
commission
the way.
commissioner for an Asian character though. Okay.
Yes, it has to be an Asian character.
Asian character for the AAPI, guys. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw.
Ooh.
Hey, real
Yay!
Well, congratulations.
Congrats. Let's see. Should I
DM me. Yeah.
get you to? Okay, let me see if I can find your.
Just drop her IG.
Yeah, let me. I'm finding her IG right now.
Oh. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Alex VNDRA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just drop her IG, and Real Rude. Are you in US, by the way, in the States?
Oh, I hope they are. Am I shipping it to you guys first, or am I shipping
Possibly.
it directly to them?
You
Possibly.
send it to her. You send it to. Then you charge me. You send
Oh,
it to
okay.
them, and yeah.
Yay, I'm excited.
Okay,
I-
everybody's already following you, so that's good.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll be
you
interested.
so
Real
much.
rude, you gotta let us know when you get it, and you gotta show it off, okay?
On your Instagram, right? If you have Instagram, right?
Thank you so much.
All
All right,
right.
yeah, Alex, this
Well,
was such a fun conversation, and
100%.
again, if you're planning to come down to Rose City, let me know. Let's connect there. Again,
Totally.
Peach Momoko is going to be there, so it'd be a great opportunity to meet her. And hopefully, yeah, we'll at some point connect. You know, we're only 3 hours away,
Yeah.
and we'll be following you on Instagram. So
Yay.
best
Thank
of luck
so
to you.
much. I hope we can do this next API next
Yes,
year.
please.
Yeah.
We'll
oh,
want to
I
bring
do
you
want to
back.
mention one thing that on the 30th. What do you think about this, guys?
Mhm.
It's just my thought. If we open the stream for everybody,
Mhm.
every guest, and you could come in here for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, and we just I got a whole bunch of Jump Boy books that I want to give it away.
Ooh.
So, what do you think about that, Otaku?
Yeah, that works. I just know we did something like that last time, and
It wasn't very
it wasn't very engaged.
But
So
I
we'll-
mean, I
we'll
think
talk about it.
I think Alex probably will show up. I think Ryan probably will show up, right? I
Sure.
think Greg, I think will show up.
Okay,
So, Greg will
let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So
Yeah.
that's what we'll do. So we that way. I want for you guys artists to connect with each other too.
Yeah,
We-
definitely. That'd be super fun.
Yeah.
I would
So
love that.
yeah, that'd be so cool if you guys can just talk shop.
Yeah.
Rest of us be going. So
It'd be fun to do like a big charity art stream sometime. That'd be fun too.
That would, yeah.
Should have done that earlier this month. Damn. Raise
Well,
some
yeah,
money
you
for
know, I
like
think-
the
I think for next year we'll look into doing something where we give back to the Asian American community. So
Oh,
that should be
100%.
good.
yeah.
maybe
Count
we'll,
me in on
we'll
that.
contact the government site, and maybe they could put us on their link.
We should call them and make sure they don't make people swear off their cultures too.
Yes.
But yes, sorry. Thank you so much for having me. This is a talk that has meant the world to me, and to be able to be around people who understand what I'm saying and can acknowledge like people with who know Sun Wukong, or who know like the struggles of being not only a person of color and being just an Asian collector, but going through that as time goes on. It just means the world to me that you guys invited me so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
No, again, thank you for taking the time and just being awesome. So
Thank you, chat.
Yeah.
Chat.
thanks
Thank
to
you for
everybody who
coming by, guys.
joined. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. We'll see you next time.